What's up, y'all? It's Deshaun Forrest, and I'm back continuing the breakdown series, and this video is for What Will It Take?
I'm the first of many children that they went on to have. Anytime they told the story, it was easy to grasp. Seemed to click from jump, though they had lots of growing to do. Destined to the rough edges, I've never had retreated on back. And speak of that in black and room, I'm active, moving at night. It's past 12. Wonder if before they had thoughts that I can't shelve. Before they met each other and sparks. What's up with everybody? Real quick, I just wanted to put y'all on to this new merch site I just launched. I've actually built this site myself, and I dropped a whole bunch of new merch inspired by my latest album, Transparent 2. And I even have the original merch that I dropped from back when I dropped the first Transparent album. To access this, just click on my official website at forevertransparent.com, and then you click shop, and then look at all of this new merch I have. You can also subscribe to our email list. And yes, if you see something, don't hesitate to cop something. We got t-shirts, hoodies, and I also have a bunch of more new designs that I want to drop soon. So check it out.
So this song, this is one of the most personal songs on the album for me. And this one, in the creation process, this one came a little later than all the other songs that I made for the album. And I felt like, for some reason, I just felt like I was the most vulnerable on this one. Because, yeah, throughout the album, I'm talking about me just kind of healing and recovering from everything. I think this is the only song I made where I'm actually now explaining where my head is at in regards to love and just romantic situations and getting back to that point where I was in a moment's time where I was excited for love and wanted to get married, and that was something that I was actively working towards. This was the only song on the album that I ever wrote where I actually kind of dove into that and really just asked myself the question of what will it take for me to actually get back there again. Yeah, so how does this relate to A Moment's Time, the song that I said is the most important one on the album in regards to the story? Well, this is the long-term aftermath of A Moment's Time. It's why the song is towards the end of the album. I actually was debating at one point whether or not I would have it be the last song on the album, but then I had made Won't Last Forever, and that kind of felt more like an epilogue. And so I was like, okay, I'll let Won't Last Forever end it. But What Will It Take is, okay, now I've recovered and I've healed and everything, but what's there? What's left remaining? How am I affected by it? Really, I just kept posing the question to myself, well, like, I still would love to be married at some point in the future, but what will it take for me to get there mentally and emotionally? And you can see in the video and just listening throughout the song that my feelings towards it are a lot more complicated and things are a lot more difficult because of everything I dealt with in A Moment's Time, and then what happened after the fact, how I processed everything. So in regards to the video, well, first, before we even get to the video, let me talk about how this song almost didn't make the project. So I wrote this song, and I'm in the session with my auntie Rachel T. And my verses were already laid by the time I got to her. And she didn't hear my parts at all. She didn't hear the entire thing until the song came out. And we recorded the hook, and we're sitting on the couch and we're just kind of thinking back over what we just did because we had recorded several songs that day. And I'm telling her like, yeah, I just wanted to see what this one would sound like. I don't know if I'm gonna let this one stay on the album or land on the album, because it just felt like, at the time, it felt like a wee bit too much. I felt extremely vulnerable in this one because I feel like I was really showing the fact that my confidence on the inside took a fat hit in regards to being in love and wanting to get married. And I felt like that was really, at the time, I felt like that was really arguably me at my weakest, and really showing my weakness and how, like, I was really hit by that. And now mentally I'm rocked. I'm not really thinking the same anymore in regards to that. and I probably never get back there. It was like an insecurity, like just like showing that insecure side, and I didn't know if that's what I wanted to showcase on the album. In spite of all the songs that were already recorded and done, I didn't know if I wanted to dive into that realm. But my aunt, who only heard the hook at the time, convinced me. She was like, yo, you need to put this one on there. This one's deep. And I was like, you know what? Like, okay, I'll do it. I was kind of a little reluctant, but then it just kind of grew on me. And I knew the song was beautiful from jump. This was never a case of whether or not I thought the song was good, or whether or not the concept was deep enough, or whether or not to shoot a music video. It had nothing to do with creativity. It was all about, man, do I want to show this side of me? And at one point, I was uneasy about it. I didn't really want to, but I was like, okay, let me consider it. Let me reconsider it now that someone else feels like it needs to be heard. And then it just kind of grew on me. And the next thing you know, it's like, I'm kind of glad it's on there, because this is as real as it gets. You know, we're at the end of the album now. We done been through a moment's time, walk away, revenge on the soul, all of the depression, we might be here longer, I don't understand, all this other stuff we done been through. Now it's like, what does he look like now? How is this affecting him now? And do you see, I think it's really great how in the music video you see the charm is there, his personality, and all of the good things still appear to be there, but the effects still linger and affect a bit of his confidence towards the end. And so regarding the video, let's get to the video, man. So the concept for the song, it doubles, it on the surface, it could sound like a tribute to the successful marriages that I've seen in my own family. From both sets of my grandparents to my parents to uncles and aunties, and just successful marriage. It sounds like on the surface it's a tribute to the successful marriages in my family. But that was never really the intent. That's just kind of how it came out. And the whole concept was to use those successful marriages as a way to set up whether or not I feel like, or as a way to pose a question of whether or not I think that can end up being me. Like, could I have my own version of that in the future? And so for the music video, I wanted to follow that same exact concept. I feel like the song, the lyrics acted as a script, and it was just going to be a fun video to shoot because I already knew exactly what I wanted to do. So first verse, we're obviously playing my grandparents. And we're picking it up. They're already together. I didn't have them meet like I did with my parents in the second verse. Essentially, what we're looking at is 3 different generations: grandparents, parents, then the present day. And in this generation, this guy and this girl are meant to be together and have a successful relationship. In the next generation, so verse 2, this guy and this girl meant to be together. And that's why the characters look the same, or the same people, because this kind of guy and this kind of girl in this generation is meant to be together. And then it falls on to me. This guy, this girl, meant to be together, perhaps, but keep in mind, remember a moment's time and everything that we went through and saw throughout this album by the time we got here. It's a lot of scars there, a lot of trauma there that he has worked through, but it changes you. You know, it changes you. He's a little bit more careful, a lot more careful now, a lot more hesitant, and probably perhaps to a fault when you see how this video ends. And so all of this posing the question, what will it take to give love one more try? Who knows what would have happened if he just in that moment gave love one more try? Hey, could have worked, could have been successful in all of those things. Or maybe they'll come back around. Maybe I'll do a future song in another film and music video where we say, hey, we come back around and, you know, things kind of play out a little bit better. But for this concept, for this video, that's really what it was. Showing a love story in 3 different generations. first generation, this guy and this girl is meant to be together. Same with the second generation. But by the time it gets on to me, it's a lot more complicated. Come to the third verse, they meet, the charm is there, they're connecting, but they're a little bit afraid. And that's what will it take. Deep, but also kind of simplistic in terms of how I laid it out. I appreciate everyone that's continuing to follow the story, continuing to stream the album. It means everything. It means everything, and I know I say that just about every chance I get, but it really does. Hit the links in the description to stream the album. Hit the links in the description to check out my website and our merch site and cop some merch if you see anything you like. Real soon, I'll be back for the next breakdown video.
Trying to get paper at the local BK, chillin' doing this job, till randomly one day this tiny girl whipped through the drive-thru. Her order was placed. I can imagine she had pulled up with a smile on her face, or whatever the state she was in, I don't know. Then he hit her with a line so corny it'll pop on the stove. They won't put it to bed rest, or could they win it?